Hey guys, here's a clip from a ranking video that I recently did, and it was a marathon, so enjoy. If you want to see the long content, click the link in the description.
Hey, I've done over 200 deals on the island of Puerto Rico worth tens of millions of dollars. And anytime I'm doing a deal, I make sure that I avoid or fix these 5 things that can crush the property value. And here's the sneaky part. Some of these issues you might overlook. And if you do, it'll destroy your profits. So let's go through them one at a time. Hey guys, before we jump into the video, I see that many of you come and watch these videos again and again, but you don't actually subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out if you'll hit that subscribe button for us and turn on the notifications so you don't ever miss our uploads. You guys have no idea how much value that would give us. We really appreciate it. Now let's jump into the video. Number 1, the first thing that can destroy your property values are unpermitted work or illegal additions. On the surface, that second floor or that extra bedroom, it might look like a bonus, but if it's not permitted, then it won't be in the registry, and if it's not in the registry, the banks won't finance it, and the inspectors can then flag it, and that will kill your buyer's desire to buy the home. We recently did a renovation in Carolina, Puerto Rico that was a top and bottom duplex, and it looked like it had always been a top and bottom duplex. We renovated it, but it only had 1 meter. And the reason why it only had 1 meter is that the second floor was never actually permitted. So when the bank went to appraise it, they completely gave us no credit for the top floor. It didn't show up in the property registry, and the bank used that to lowball the appraisal. So even though the buyer got the benefit of buying a 2-family house, the bank took advantage of the fact that it didn't show up on the property register, and they lowballed the appraisal. We originally had the house sold after renovations for $285,000, and we were going to do really, really well. Well, they appraised the house for $235,000. Luckily, we had a clause in our contract that allowed us to renegotiate, and the buyer was willing to come up to about $255,000. So we still did okay, but that loss of 30 grand, that was direct profit, and it would have actually doubled our profit. So what's the fix? If we had known about it before we went to market and sold it, and then had the appraiser come out there and say that he was going to appraise it as a single family house, we could have permitted it. We could have legalized it, they call it. And then we would have gotten credit for it. Our appraisal would have been higher. We would have realized our entire profit. So this is a lesson that we learn. When we have problems, we learn lessons. And as real estate investors, you want to remember that. You don't have losses, you have lessons. And even though we made a bunch of money on it, we didn't have a loss, we did have a lesson. And the lesson is, verify that everything that you're buying is already legalized, and if it's not, go and legalize it. Number 2, outdated electrical and plumbing is a big problem on the island of Puerto Rico, and don't let it catch you off guard. And this one's sneaky because you're not always going to see it during a quick walkthrough. And if you go through the entire renovation and you get the property sold and an inspector shows up for your buyer and he finds faulty wiring, this is going to scare the hell out of your buyer, and it may cause you to lose your deal. Because what is the buyer going to think? If you didn't fix the wires, they imagine worst case scenarios. They assume that everything you did was faulty and bad. And guys, that can knock serious money off of your resale value. On another recent flip that we did, we renovated a 4-family home that only had 2 power meters, and we had to actually, because Luma had changed the code, move the power boxes from the back of the house to the front of the house. And when we did that, it cost us tens of thousands of dollars. I think it cost us like $25,000 to make the move. The lesson that we learned here was we only had the 2 meters for a 4-family home. As we were going to make this big electrical upgrade and move and rewire the house, we would have probably been better off to just go ahead and spent a little bit extra money to go ahead and have 2 more meters. So we would have had a total of 4, and that would have helped us with the resale value quite a bit. We did recently go under contract on this, and we're going to make a profit again, but we could have sold it faster, and we could have probably gotten a bigger number had we, when we were upgrading the electrical, changed from 2 meters to 4 meters. So this is something, guys, that you don't always think about. It's one of Adon's pet peeves, so now that one really kind of caught us. We had a renovation estimation going on, and everything was going really well until we had to spend an extra $25,000 or so on this electrical upgrade. So don't let that catch you off guard, guys. Number 3, this one's really simple, but deadly. Bad bathrooms and kitchens. Guys, these are the 2 spaces that absolutely sell the house. And if you're gonna renovate a house and leave outdated, ugly, and poor designed kitchens, You're just not going to be able to command top dollar when you put it back on the market. And you could even lose buyers outright as women go in and they make these decisions and they see an old ugly bathroom that they think is dirty and disgusting, and they just flat out say no, and it's on to the next one. When we're renovating these homes, we're often renovating the bathrooms and the kitchens, and that's where we're going to spend a lot of our renovation dollars. So we've been doing this for a long, long time, and we know that this is what sells the house. This is the place where you can spend a little bit more and take the time to do it right. If you're going to replace the plumbing in the house, which on the island of Puerto Rico, most of the time you're going to need to do anyway. So you take out the old bathroom and you go in with the new, and it really brings the house up. So the rest of the house can have a pretty modest renovation, but if you've got a bathroom that pops and a kitchen that wows, you're going to be able to command top dollar. And not only that, but you're going to be able to sell it faster, and you're going to get a lot of people interested and excited because people want to buy nice stuff, and you're providing a home for somebody. When you renovate these zombie homes, these zombie houses, and you turn them into somebody's dream home, they need really pretty bathrooms and great kitchens. Let's talk about one of my favorite pet peeves when I'm doing a renovation. I hate bad layouts and choppy floor plans. And let's be honest, Puerto Rico has a lot of older homes with really chopped up floor plans. They seem to build them never ending. You've got hallways that go to nowhere. These choppy floor plans, they are terrible, but they're also the place that you can improve the value of a house. And even by knocking down a wall and opening something up, you can have a massive change. You can get rid of these choppy floor plans. I love to knock walls down and open up spaces. It seems like in the 60s when they were building these houses before they were zombie homes, they just like to close everything in and box it all up. I want to open it all back up and make it easy space with some feng shui. I've got a real life example of this, guys, right here, right now. We're finishing up our McMansion build. We have tons of content on it. Please go check it out. It's one of my favorite renovations we've ever done. It's also the largest renovation on a single family house that we've ever done anywhere in the world. And this house, when we bought it, you talk about a choppy floor plan. My goodness. We had walls everywhere. There were actually 4 units that didn't need to be 4 units. We originally thought that we would renovate it back to a 4-family house, but we realized that by knocking out a few walls, we could turn this thing from a pretty okay 4-family house in a really good neighborhood to a fantastic house that I will flat out love living in if I can't sell it. So I'm already mentally prepared to have a buyer tell me that my price is too high, because guess what, guys? I'll go live there. I ain't afraid. It'll be the nicest house I've ever lived in because we moved some walls. We got rid of the choppy floor plan. Now we've got a beautiful 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom house with lots of open space and an enormously beautiful kitchen, and every bathroom is to die for. Number 5, no parking or curb appeal. On the island of Puerto Rico, it seems like that back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s when they were building all of these houses, they didn't think that people were ever going to have cars. So they don't believe in providing parking. So it's a problem island-wide. And it's a problem for you as a real estate investor to fix up a house and make it look great, but then not have parking. It's just something that you've got to deal with. So keep in mind when you're buying, parking is important. And if you've got it, it's a big bonus. There are ways to overcome it by building a beautiful house. But the second one is poor curb appeal. My goodness, I don't know who designed houses, but they seem to be in love with the ghetto chic kind of design where they put bars on absolutely everything. It must have been a tough time back in the day. Or the guy who was selling the bars that went on every house, that dude was one hell of a salesman because he got those bars on every damn house on the island. And people will actually say it must be an unsafe area because we've got these bars on all the houses. It's not an unsafe area. It can be a really great neighborhood. They just had a really good salesman who put the bars on the windows. And so when we're renovating houses, we take them out. We take them down and get rid of them because you instantly upgrade the curb appeal. And it's a massive value add when you just get rid of those bars, get rid of those nasty, makes it look dangerous anyways. And guys, this is one of the fastest ways and best ways to boost value. And if you ignore it and you leave the ugly duckling as the ugly duckling, you just can't get top dollar for your house and you're not going to make any money. We had a house that we bought when we first came to the island, and we actually called it the Ugly House. It was in Alta, I believe. We bought it with Cookie Acosta. He was a good friend. And it had these triangles everywhere. Plus it had bars on all the windows. So we took down all the ugly triangles. I mean, and it really was ugly. And then we just shaped out the walls. It had these strange curves. We straightened everything out. We put new stucco on it, and we changed the house completely. By the time we were done with it, it looked like a brand new house had been built there. We've done this again and again, actually. This is one of our favorite things to do because it doesn't cost a ton of money, but it has a massive effect. You can see it instantly, and even the neighbors will come out and they'll be like, wow, we've been living here for 25 years. That house has been one of the biggest ugly eyesores on the block my entire life. I can't believe how you just changed the neighborhood, and they're thanking you for it because you took the ugly duckling on the house and you turned it into the beautiful house. They're also, by the way, going to now get a new neighbor who's going to call the place home. So those are 5 sneaky things that can destroy the property values in Puerto Rico. And we've seen investors lose tons of money by ignoring them, but we've also seen people make tons of money by fixing these 5 problems. So look, guys, if you want to be a real estate investor and you found this helpful, on this channel, we tell you what we do and how we do it, and we talk about why. We're real estate investors. We've been doing it for a long time. You can learn from our mistakes, and you can learn from our successes. Give this video a like, share it with all of your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, if you want to be a real estate investor and join our community where you can network with other like-minded real estate investors, comment yes, and I'll send you the link. You can join for free.
All right, guys, if you like that and you want more real estate investing content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see the whole video from what we just watched, just click the link in the description.